'cause it's a me without, it's a me without you. I'm like a ya with no who, a foot with no shoe, a shoe bee without the doobie-doo. I'm like a tea with no brew, an ah with no ooh, a ballerina with no tutu. Well, do you know that I see the glass is half empty when it's a me without, when it's a me without you. 'Cause I try to find the one thing I've been missing. And then you come along, the one who I belong with. That's why a dove needs a coo, a peak has a view, a paddle needs a canoe. That's why a sneeze has a chew, a tango has two, bonjour has a parlez-vous. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sure that you do. Don't wanna be without you. Don't wanna be without you. What's like the sky without blue, a cow with no moo, a hello without a how are you? What's like a ghost with no boo, a cat with no mew, an Eskimo without an igloo? Well, do you know? Here's a clue. It's not a what, it's a who, 'cause it's a me without, it's a me without you. I'm like a ya with no who, a foot with no shoe, a shoe bee without the doobie-doo. I'm like a tea with no brew, an ah with no ooh, a ballerina with no tutu. Well, do you know that I see the glass is half empty when it's a me without, when it's a me without you. 'Cause I try to find the one thing I've been missing. And then you come along, the one who I belong with. That's why a dove needs a coo, a peak has a view, a paddle needs a canoe. That's why a sneeze has a chew, a tango has two, bonjour has a parlez-vous. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sure that you do. Don't wanna be without you. Don't wanna be without you. What's like the sky without blue, a cow with no moo, a hello without a how are you? What's like a ghost with no boo, a cat with no mew, an Eskimo without an igloo? Well, do you know? Here's a clue. It's not a what, it's a who, 'cause it's a me without, it's a me
Hi everyone.
Hello everyone.
Hello. Hi Shiwangi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to turn on your camera.
Hi everyone.
Hello everyone.
Hello. Hi Shiwangi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to turn on your camera.
This is where it gets complicated. This is all. So the other one now. Oh, my hands are cold. My fingers. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiwangi. That was really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for coming along and joining us tonight for the launch of the Gift of Stories. We're truly excited to have you all here tonight. So firstly, just a few house rules for everybody. We'll generally be controlling the mute button, but if for some reason you find yourself unmuted while someone else is speaking, please just hit the mute button. We do encourage you to have your camera on though. After all, tonight is about connection. It is best to select the speaker view at the top right of your screen. You can change it back to gallery view in the interactive session a little bit later. For optimal audio, for example, listening to Shiwangi, so maybe I'm a little bit late, but we do recommend using headphones. And please feel free to go crazy on the reaction button at the bottom of your screen. Everyone loves a thumbs up. And this session is being recorded for internal training and development. It won't be out there for the world to see, but we will publish the film to YouTube very shortly after tonight. You can also spread the love on your favorite socials and mention us at RMIT Training and at Story is Connection. You can also hashtag TGOS Film and hashtag In This Together. So I'd like to begin the formal proceedings tonight by our acknowledgement of country, this being NAIDOC Week. So I wish to respectfully acknowledge the people of the Woiwurrung and Boonwurrung language groups of the Eastern Kulin Nation, on whose unceded lands we meet today. I acknowledge their ancestors and elders, past and present, and their emerging leaders. I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands and waters across all of Australia, including the Bibjara and Karakara peoples, and extend my deep respect to all First Nations people. I acknowledge the great privilege that lies in receiving the gifts of friendship, wisdom, culture, stories, and truth-telling. We are grateful to have known this gift at RMIT Training, and we've been deeply touched by it. I pay tribute to the strength and resilience of the Indigenous Anzacs, the stolen generations, and all those whose lives have been subjected to injustice, disadvantage, trauma, and loss. I do this in the clear understanding that the acknowledgement of our shared history lifts us all up and is the key to building a brighter, fairer, and kinder future. NAIDOC Week, which we celebrate this week, serves to remind us of the remarkable living culture, inspirational talents, ongoing achievements, and deep knowledge of our First Nations peoples. People whom we hold in the highest of esteem. So we thank you, and we walk with you, and we celebrate you. We're very fortunate tonight to have a large number of staff with us, from teachers, support staff, administration, and the leadership team, and lots of our students as well. Some of you are here on Zoom with us, others are watching live on YouTube. I would like to welcome now the CEO of RMIT Training, Catherine O'Sullivan, to say a few words. So over to you, Catherine. Thank you. Catherine, are you with us?
Okay, now I'm fine. Sorry.
We got there in the end. That's the main thing.
Thought after 8 weeks I still couldn't unmute myself. I'm sorry. I thought that you were going to be in charge of doing that, but that's okay. Look, I'd like to begin. It's such an exciting night tonight, and I'd like to begin first of all by giving a really big shout out to Matt, to Tilly, and to Elise. I know that team has worked really hard to pull this together, but I've got it on good advice, Matt, that you have actually been driving this whole event. And I know there's been a lot of work go into it. So just first of all, a really big thank you. And thank you to everyone who's taken the time to be here tonight. And I know that this movie is going to be watched over and over by many, many people. So I'm really excited that we are the first people to actually be able to see it. Now, the reason that we chose tonight to actually screen the gifted story is that we decided this would be our final chapter in our kindness project, which has involved all staff and students across RMIT training. And it's really served to focus our attention on the importance of kindness within our communities and lives. And in fact, I can't think of a better word that would sum up how we felt during 2020 at RMIT training. We really do believe that training is a place where kindness matters. And I think it's been a wonderful thing to focus on kindness over the last 13 weeks and to really witness the gifts that kindness can bring, not only to yourself, but to others that you're sharing it with. And we're launching this initiative tonight on the eve of what is actually World Kindness Day. It's celebrated on the 13th of November each year. And I think World Kindness Day is all about acceptance, it's about diversity, it's about love. And it encourages everyone to take the opportunity to perform acts of kindness towards each other. And I don't have to encourage you to do that because I know you have been. But tonight, I guess this project, not only has it been sort of corralled by Matt and his team, it's actually been led by the legendary community theatre producer, Catherine Simmons. And I saw Catherine on the screen there earlier tonight. Really big thank you and a big shout out for you to be able to share your talent with us. I know you've been working with a team of theatre workers who all happen to be ex-international students. And many of us have been privileged to see the sort of professionalism of your work. So we're really excited about seeing it. So the gift of stories actually pays tribute to the resilience of our wonderful international students. It shines a light on their lives, shines a light on their personal stories, particularly during one of the most challenging years that we've ever experienced as a global community. And I'm so proud that we're going to have a legacy of a story to be able to reflect firsthand on the emotions and the stories that we're capturing through tonight's films. The sharing of stories is indeed a gift, but I'm sure most of you would know that the oldest living storytellers on earth are Australia's Aboriginal people. I'm pleased to say that during 2020, it's been our great privilege at RMIT training to work with Bidjara and Karakara First Nations woman, Leanne Wilson. Leanne has led us on a beautiful journey of sharing stories, truth-telling, and uncovering our authentic voices. We're so pleased to have Leanne with us tonight to talk about the gift of stories from her own First Nations perspective. We're also pleased to be able to pay tribute to Leanne, celebrate her achievements, including being one of the 100 most influential women in Australia, together with all First Nations people during NAIDOC Week, a week where the achievements of First Nations people are celebrated across Australia. So happy NAIDOC Week, Leanne, and thank you for finding the time in your busy schedule to share some insights with us this evening. We are deeply grateful to have you with us. And so please enjoy your evening, everyone. I know I'm going to. And I'd now like to pass on to my very dear friend, Leanne Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Is Leanne actually with us tonight? I'm not sure if
Sorry,
Leanne...
Matt. I actually was speaking to Leanne about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I suspect she thinks it's 6 o'clock, so just let me give her a quick call.
Oh, because in Queensland, it's...
We're in Queensland. We're on a different time zone.
So just everyone watching,
bear
Leanne.
with us, everyone. We love the authenticity of a live cross. She's probably getting herself beautiful. She's not answering the phone.
No worries. What we might do, Catherine, is I might move on to Fifi just to talk a little bit about Story is Connection. Great. And we can come back to Leanne afterwards. So yeah, Fifi Liao is the Managing Director of Story is Connection. And I'm going to pass over to you, Fifi, to tell us all about who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having us. Actually, we have a long relationship with RMIT training. Really happy to be here again. You know, I actually brought a little bit poster, I think easy to explain, because I used to be an international student as well, and I was here, and I was on the stage performing my lived experience as an international student. And this is Catherine. So essentially what Stories Connection is doing is to bring international students to be on the stage in the theater. Well, that's what we usually do. And then we can share our authentic stories. But because of COVID, we transformed our practices, everything online. So now we're producing films, and that's the gift of stories, what you are going to see. Well, I will save my words because you will understand when you watch our film. So I'll pass on to Catherine. Catherine, you can talk more about the GOS, the gift of stories film.
Oh, really? Are we ready for me? Are we?
Yeah.
Matt, are we ready for me? Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Taken by surprise. So yeah, great that you're all here. So I guess when you think about stories, like, are we our stories? I think in many ways our stories are a moment in time, and this is a moment in time. So in many ways we are our stories, and we are not our stories. We move on. So stories in many ways, it's like time traveling. So tonight, when we watch the film, we'll be listening to 10 students' moments in time. They might be different today than they were when I interviewed them 1 month ago. But that context of the self, of the past and to now, that is our stories. And I think in lots of ways, the gift of stories is the sharing. And it's about that space of creating sharing. And that's the work that I do with communities. And tonight with Gift of Stories, we ran 4 workshops only. I have never in person met the 10 students we're about to see in the film tonight. I have not met them. And through 4 workshops, together we built a relationship through storytelling. And it started gently and it deepened really across the 4 workshops. And then what happened was I would meet with every student individually online, and for an hour and 15, listen to their life. I'd ask questions, they would share. So the film you see tonight comes from that process of conversation where they've had the generosity to share with me their stories, and with each other in the workshop, their stories. So you can imagine 10 students, an hour and a half of interviews. That's a really long film, but tonight's film runs for 16 minutes. So that means each student gets an hour or 1 minute and 30 seconds to weave the work so that the story is told. And again, it's a moment in the students' lives, and I really hope you get a lot out of it. I'm sure you will, because I think the gift that they've given us and given students of the future is a truth about themselves, their vulnerability and their resilience. And that is what the gift of stories is in this context. So I deeply thank each of you who are in this film for that sharing, because you're giving a gift to others, and I hope everybody receives that gift tonight. That's really pretty much all I want to say. Is Leanne here?
I don't believe so yet. Catherine, do we have an update on Leanne? All right, welcome.
Yes, she's on her way. I typed a message in there.
Okay.
So she said 5 minutes. She did think it was 6 o'clock, which was obviously Victorian time. So
why don't we go in with, why doesn't Leanne give a reflection post the film and post the sharing from the students? What about that?
I think that's a great idea, Catherine.
Yeah, let's do that, so she can come in, and it'd be really great if she gets to witness the film as well.
Okay, that's great. All right. Let me see.
But I'd like her to see the film. So the next step.
I know. She's just telling me there's no link attached to her Zoom invite. So let me.
I'll talk a little bit more while she gets organised, so she can.
Okay, and let me. I'll just ring her quick.
Okay. So in normal times, storytelling, it's about in the workshops, we're working in a screen and students would pick up an object and they'd try and tell their story using whatever was on hand and to share that story. And you'll be hearing afterwards from each of the students a reflection about their experience sharing this story, never met. Some of the students who are with us tonight have not yet been in Melbourne. They're studying online in RMIT. They're in Bali, Malaysia, and India, and they haven't actually made it to Melbourne yet. So this is a really special project of trying to build community through storytelling. And that's what the gift of stories really is. It's about that sharing, because our past, our present, and our future, I think people have always shared stories, and that's where we learn. It's where we get our knowledge. We get our knowledge from that space, and stories have the ability to bring our emotions more present. And I think that's what's inside the gift of the stories, that you will see that. So yes, I tried to prepare. I normally can talk a lot, but now I have run out of words. So I think we might move forward. So Irene, in a moment, Irene, so how was the film built? It was built through the interviews, and then I scripted from all of that footage. I created a script. Then Irene and Tammy, we got together, and then we thought about images, and then Irene, with her skills of putting things together with the images and the script, we've created the film. Some of the imagery has actually come from some of the students who went out and they filmed some images as much as they could in lockdown, that being. And some of that footage is inside it, as well as footage from Irene and a few other people. So that's what actually creates the film. So Irene, over to you for the launching of.
My dream.
Like no judgment, and everyone can feel like they're loved. Build a world that's your opinion, but I think it's really hard to achieve in my life.
In high school, I was really lost. Everyone's asking me, what do you want to do? And I don't even have a dream. Yet.
I've always wanted to see more of the world.
I want to live a life outside. I think it's also the society back home. I felt like I want to be somewhere where nobody's going to be constantly watching me.
Maybe if this place make me calm down and not to worry about your family, maybe to push you to find a boyfriend and to get married.
I've gone into a family where there's a legacy of dance, music, a lot of tradition and culture.
I used to be the top student in my school, but to keep that position, I think it's really hard.
I think I'd rather be somewhere alone, build expectations for myself and try to live up to them.
I should find something more meaningful.
I should start learning how to dance for myself.
What's life like in Australia?
I'm starting a new life, because I'm not in Cambodia, where everyone knows who I am, this shy, quiet kid.
A little nervous. I need to fix everything in my life just by myself.
Top 10 universities in Australia, 10 places you must visit in Melbourne.
For the past 5 years, I've just been stuck in Bali. Everyone's always telling me, I live in Bali, and that's so lucky. It's like paradise. I'm not making enough money to to sustain myself beyond like my basic living. I'm not here on holiday. I've been just kind of working while I try to get to college.
I was working with my mother in one place, and then there was this agency that says students to Australia. They start talking about Australia and everything, about the culture, and then I was starting to imagine about kangaroos and everything. RMIT, Melbourne. I saw the pictures, I fall in love.
Melbourne, I think, is a multicultural city.
That really made me apply.
My mom was like, "Are you sure you really want to go there? Because it's really far."
My mom's like, how are you going to survive in Australia? What are you doing? Nothing. So every time my mom's like, put your clothes in, I'm not going to do it for you. And every time my dad's like, can you make a cup of tea? I'm like, I'm not going to be here anytime soon. You have to do it yourself.
So when I got in, I was very happy. My whole family was happy. And then the pandemic happened.
That's when I lost my job. That's when I lost my girlfriend.
She had to be repatriated.
That's when I realized, well, I might not even be able to attend RMIT. I was so distraught about it.
Okay, I don't think I'm going to be going this semester.
I just hope I can go in second semester. I really want to come there.
I came here for 2 months, and then I've been in this room for like, I don't know how long.
Personally, don't really like to go out. So it's just fantastic for me, the lockdown.
I wake up every day and I open my laptop. It's like online, everything Australia, my university, all the people who are in Melbourne. Close my laptop, okay, come back to India. Switch it off and switch it on back again.
One important thing for me is communication. Sometimes it's hard to me because I want to talk more with the local people.
Go out and make friends, like make friends with my roommate and my classmates, like that. And when it starts, I just afraid of going so deep with the conversation.
Of course, I will feel shy. Yeah, maybe they will think it's hard to talk with you.
When I first come here, everyone just said very quick with a little strange accent. Hey, have you made? How's it going? Like that. Actually, I'm not quite get what they are talking about. I just say, yeah. It's really embarrassing.
Some abbreviates they used to chat with. The most interesting one I meet maybe the LMAO. That means laugh my ass off. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know where is the nearest subway? And he just points to the subway shop with sandwich.
One day I walk in railway station. A man suddenly rushed into my side and shout inside my ear, and I feel so afraid. I can't understand why there have many different cultures person come to their hometown. Actually, it reminds me of people cannot refuse the other culture because this land and the original belonger is the original people. I think actually this land belongs to the Aboriginal people.
When I told my mom that I want to go outside to study, she always told me that you're going to have to get good grades. Otherwise, you are not going to be able to get scholarship and we won't be able to afford the full fee. So I really had to study really hard.
To study well is not only my expectation, but also my family's.
This is just my goal, have high distinction in university.
I should pay off that and should be less than too proud of me.
One of my first scores in one of my subjects was like really low. I keep thinking, I'm like, okay, so at least I'm living like the dream life of everyone. So I should at least have good scores.
That's a pressure I give myself.
My mother she's like, I don't care about the scores. I just care about your happiness. She always tell me, you want to stay in the same situation as before?
I think also there was a time I'm really depressed in my high school.
I fear the thoughts of people about me.
Even if I knew the answer, I would be so shy to speak up. I would refuse to speak up.
When I finish class every day, I just stay in my dormitory without the lights. Sometimes I didn't go to eat something and sit on the bed, listen to MP3.
Yeah, it's all in my head. It's all in here. So I'm like fighting with myself.
But how can I start conversation? Like,
why am I not like the other people who are so comfortable expressing themselves?
But the girl sat next to you probably not interested in you.
Hey, you should make a joke. People will be like, what are you doing?
It's not weird, okay? Like, just say hello, but like, you got nothing to say.
I would look at them blankly for like 10 seconds. Okay, what do I say now?
You just sit there and see everyone around you are talking to their friends.
Come on, just say it. No, never. Come on, don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. All right, fine.
I literally grew up with my friends because I was in a school board. They were my family growing up.
Family is the only thing I could call home.
Externally, everything was perfect, even though there can be nothing perfect.
Whose use is like so perfect, right?
It's very hard to tell them.
It isn't what I thought it was. I didn't know what to do.
I need to keep some distance from my family.
2015 October, like 3 months after I graduated, my mom passed away in October. She was a single mother.
You know the feeling when you lost someone, or like when you lose a part of you?
So I went through this really dark mental state.
I just feel so lonely, and I can't feel my existence.
Like, you know how in those movies where one person just walks slowly and then everything else is just zoom? Those times I thought I was not good enough.
During depression, all my interests just lost. I can't read, I can't write. So it's really like suffering for me.
Everything is just so rotten. Literally nothing I can do. So I just felt like wanting to, go away.
I had all these dreams and goals and aspirations, and now I'm just pounding on the doors and trying to get out. Just furious at myself for not being able to do so. And what am I doing here? Why am I here?
Just hang out there. Don't do anything bad. You are strong enough later to conquer all the bad things.
Seeing my mom cry was the turning point of my life, because she knew that I needed her during that time that I was alone.
My mom always do the best we're not a rich family at all. Just to afford my life here.
Oof, just seeing your parents cry is a lot of emotions, and that's when I stood up and was like, no, I'm gonna do it better.
At some point, I did get happier and willing to try again. I think I'm all the more thankful for all these years trying to get out of here and trying to get into college. And now that I'm in one, I really want to do well.
Depression to me is more like a long walk with myself.
The light just shining through the window, and some small animals, many kind of animals come in, sit with him on the bed, and they dragged him out of the room.
I'm in a beautiful garden, so there are beautiful birds. So these are birds, and there's a river next to me. It's a beautiful river next to me, and there are a lot of flowers, and there are parrots. So there are parrots everywhere, and then I see.
I really love her. I have so much respect, gratitude. It's just I never said it to her. I still don't know how to say.
Although I lost 2 years or 3 years of youth, I think it's quite a treasure experience for me. It's very healing having a secret garden.
When they came to a lake in the middle of the forest, and there he found that there was many people gathering there, singing, dancing, to have some barbecues.
I decided to just join this volunteering, and I feel really nice there because there are also other students like me.
Being on my own, doing my own thing, like having nobody to bother me. It's fun.
Don't just follow the standard the society give you.
She never pushed me, like she never forced me to do anything.
Is that really what you want?
If you don't like doing it, don't do it. Do something else.
I'm someone new. No one knows who I am. So I'm able to build who I am.
The important thing is I don't love boys, actually I love girls.
I'm realizing a lot today as I speak. Me wanting to be a psychologist because of my past experiences.
Finally, I choose architecture, but I also want to excel in acting and performing arts.
The change was really big because before I was thinking and studying like something like business or economy and then performing art.
When I was young, I'm dreaming to have an island. Now I just have a future goal, find a job of design, and every day just go to work and live like a normal person.
I don't need to define my future in now, actually.
Life is also about your family, yourself, about a good food, go for a walk and see the beautiful sceneries.
What I really want to do in the future is I want to set up a program, something that that's very helpful for people like myself who have been unable to get the help that they need, and that's what I want to do with my degree.
Coming here is sort of allowing me to start over again. And that's where I am right now.
The Wominjinka means the Aboriginal word, yeah.
Let's take ourselves off mute and give everyone a round of applause to our beautiful students and all the hard work that's gone into creating this. And may I invite you, the audience, to please, now we're going to put up a code and you can go and put a word in the METI chat box. That'd be fantastic. So you scan this code and just write a word and it'll fill up the word cloud.
So just scan it with the camera on your phone.
And we also put the instruction in the chat box. So if you are unsure, you can go to the chat box.
Living their emotional turmoil. Yeah, just any you're feeling, no right, wrong, one word, whatever you want to say. It's just really nice to hear and see what you put up there. That'd be great. Beautiful, inspiring, crying, mixed feelings, touching, brave. Too positive for me. So moving. Release. So generous, inspiring, rich, fighting in the dark. Damn, so generous, enlightening. I'm not alone. In awe of these students, enlightening, beautiful, thank you, overwhelmed, wonderful, brave, amazing, moving. I'm not alone. Dang, dark, probably.
Well, if you don't think English can express your feelings, I see some people put different language. Actually, you can.
Why not?
Yeah.
Relatable, fabulous, amazing, rich, family, authentic. It's a journey. Tears and laughter together. Courage, the best. That's great. It's so good to see everybody's words filling up that space. And there'll be an opportunity after we've heard from Leanne and all of the students to have a bit of a Q&A together. So that'll be fantastic. Matt, I hand it back to you to introduce Leanne, yes?
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. And wow, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It was truly amazing. So I guess I do want to say a big thanks to Irene, who put the film together. It was it was really, really quite moving. So we will go back a step, and Leanne Wilson is I guess an honorary member of RMIT training, and she's up in Queensland at the moment, and we are
Matt, you're on mute.
Thank you. You'd think after 6 months of doing this that that I would have learned by now. Look, I was just saying that we are truly so lucky to have Leanne with us here tonight. I see Leanne as an honorary member of the RMIT training team. And so look, Leanne's going to talk to us about, I guess, her experiences of stories from her First Nations perspective. So Leanne, I'm going to pass over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I just feel incredibly honoured to speak after what we've just witnessed. And I'm honoured because my heart is singing with joy, but it's also singing with connectedness. And I think that's the power of stories, isn't it? And I mean, I am a First Nations person. I'm from Australia, and it was so lovely to hear some of the stories. And people, people knew that Australia was, has custodianship by the First Nation people. And so I come and talk to you today based on the strengths of my stories as a First Nation person. And I just want to thank you for the generosity of your beautiful spirit in sharing your stories and the depth of what you went to as well. Talking about the happy times, talking about the sad times, and that's life, isn't it? And as young people, you'll come to understand that this is what's going to happen throughout all of your life. But what's important is who we connect ourselves with, how we connect, and how we live our life, while we're on this planet together. I'll just fix this camera up a bit. Look, what I wanted to just acknowledge the traditional owners on whose lands we are gathered today, and I'm sure, we heard that this morning, but also want to acknowledge my own people. So I'm a Bidjara Karakara descendant, and I have South Sea Islander heritage as well. But my people come from Queensland, and on the map of Queensland in Australia, my people come, and I come from the centre of Queensland. So I'm used to deserts and brown, the dry plains. So that's where I come from. So my stories are based in those sorts of climates. And you know what I was really interested to hear about in all of your stories was this beautiful connectedness that I felt to each and every one of you. You talked about family, you talked about, you know, being strong at times. You talked about, you know, wanting to know more people in your world. And you also talked about, you know, the thinking about what you're doing in a garden. So I just found that incredibly inspiring. And all of that tells me that we are similar in more ways than we are dissimilar. And you know, one of the key things that elders have told us is that for me, I live by 4 R's, and that is responsibility, respect, relationships, and remembering. And so the old people used to say, my girl, you have responsibility for Mother Earth because she looks after us. And then you have responsibility to look after yourself. So, and then the third one is you have responsibility to look after whoever comes across your path. And so I feel a deep gratitude in saying that, you know, as a First Nation Australian, as a Bidjara elder, and as a senior woman in my community, I find it incredibly encouraging to think that you have crossed my path and I've crossed your path, and you know, who knows, we might get to meet each other at some time. But know in your heart that my heart extends to you, and when I say welcome to my country, welcome to my stories, and I gift you my stories to share as you will need to, and draw upon some of those strengths as well. And I guess, you know, some of the things that I wanted to talk to you about in listening to your stories is you know, feeling at times isolated and being a long way from your home. And, you know, at times I feel a little bit like that, although I'm not as far away from home as what you are. But one of the ways that I've sort of learned to sort of get through that is to really reach out to people. So you have to develop courage, you know, and courage is a beautiful value to start to develop, because most people that I've reached out to have reached back in and have supported me as well. So I like to think that RMIT is a university that is there to support you. And I know a lot of your, you know, a lot of people in RMIT, and they're beautiful friends of mine. So I can say, you know, that with a fair bit of confidence that they're there for you, to support you as well. You also talked about, you know, the sad times and this notion of, you know, feeling depressed. I too have had my share of sad times, and, you know, I'm almost 60. And I can tell you that that's, you know, that's part of life's journey. But in those sad times, what I've learned is to sit in that discomfort for a bit. And within that discomfort comes great learning as well. And so I've learned to be able to do that and move through it. But how I do that, I love the conversations about, you know, the garden, building a garden. I actually built a garden during COVID, and because I'd just come through drought. So all of my plants have died, and I had no garden. And I need a garden because it's good for the soul, it's good for the spirit. And so I've built this beautiful garden, and that's where I go and have a chat to my dad in particular. My dad's been passed for a very long time now, but he joins me in spirit in the garden. And not only just in the garden, but he'll come for a walk with me, as my grandmother does as well. So these beautiful environments that we have are places that we can connect with our, you know, with the spirit, and it actually helps our soul and our spirit to feel well again as well. So it's been really lovely listening to your stories, and I guess I just wanted to share a little bit about, you know, some of my challenges, but also some of my, you know, great times as well. And but I think for me, the beauty of living a life is the connection with other people. And it is through stories that, you know, those connections are as strong as you would want them to be. And so I would encourage you to just hang in there, hang in there. And there's a saying, you know, where I come from, and I laughed at one of the sayings that you learned. And where I come from, sometimes we say, yeah, we've been up a few dry gullies. And that just means, you know, we've been stuck for a bit. And so, but, you know, even in those dry gullies, you can put that car in gear and you move out of it again. So, you know, we'll all get stuck in a few dry gullies, and you know that's one that you can take back to your countries as well, as a bit of an Australian slang, I guess, in a sense. So I think that's enough from me. But can I just say again, please feel very welcome in this country, and I have much, you know, I just feel incredibly enriched by hearing your stories. And the great thing about hearing your stories, that it adds to my existence as well. I take a part of you with me, and my gift to you is to take a part of me with you. So I really do hope that I connect with you at some point in time. I know that I'm coming to Melbourne to do some work. So if you see me wandering around, I know we can't hug, but at least wave and yell out, and let's see if we can have a cup of tea or sing a song together. Who knows? All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll talk later. Much love, everybody. See you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Leanne. It's look, it's always such a pleasure hearing you talk and having you with us. So, you know, you're such a great inspiration to us all here. So thank you so much. And especially, you know, this being NAIDOC week and all, it's, you know, it's especially special having you here tonight with us. And, you know, I guess touching on that power of stories, you know, that we saw from the film, it's just such a powerful thing, and that whole idea of connection, you know, it's why we're here. So, you know, I do want to say a big thank you again for coming and talking with us tonight. We do also want to hear from the students, the people who actually told us their stories before, and they are all here with us tonight. And look, it's quite amazing. They've been together for, I don't know, the last couple of months, 10 weeks or something. Never met, I don't think. They've never met in person. I haven't actually met many of them in person myself. But what I've seen over the past couple of months is this group of people spread out throughout the world has come together in this really beautiful way where they are deeply connected and willing to open up their hearts and their minds and to speak this truth like we saw in the film. So I think it is the perfect time right now to hear from them and let them have a few words. So I'm going to pass over to Adam as our first speaker, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his thoughts on the gift of stories. So over to you, Adam.
Hey everyone, I just want to say that seeing the final product just now, it just felt like an absolute privilege to have been part of this project. And it was really, really very enlightening to see and hear everybody's stories, everybody's trials. And I think a lot of us have suffered through very similar experiences, very similar conditions like depression or loneliness, but at the same time, each of us experiences them in a very unique, very different way. And it's both very reassuring and very, very, I don't know, like very interesting for me to have seen and heard from every one of my fellow participants in the past, well, in the weeks that we spent making this together. So yeah, thank you to each and every one of you participants and organizers for making this possible for me and the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. So we are now going to pass over to who's next on our list, Adam?
Me?
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, this has been a beautiful project where I had the opportunity to express my feelings and experiences without fear of being judged. In just 4 online meetings, I've never imagined that I could develop such a strong bond with other students that I have never seen before. Yet somehow it happened, and I feel so blessed to have found in them the emotional support I needed during these challenging times. I realized that I'm not alone in this journey, that there were also other students who had similar stories that I related with and gave me the enough confidence to share mine. I learned that it's okay to feel sometimes scared. In fact, we are facing new challenges that are part of the beginning of our adult life. However, those are giving us enough strength to follow our dreams no matter what. I'm really grateful to Miss Catherine to create this beautiful space where I found a shoulder to lean on. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Who do we have up next?
Maybe it's me.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. It's really a fresh experience for me, and it brought us. We don't know each other. We gather together and become friends gradually. I think it's really strengthened the relationship and the connection between us. Especially during the pandemic period, we gather together to support each other. We tell our own personal stories, listen to others' stories. I'm really grateful for everyone I met in Gift of Story, and I just set up a stronger mood toward life, having a deeper connection with my inner space. It reminds me of who I am and who I want to be. This encouraged me to stay true to my original self. Thank you. And I will pass on to Shwangi.
So for me, it was a great opportunity. It was a really great opportunity for self-realization and reflection because I hadn't really thought about certain incidents for like a really long time. So my personal interview with Catherine really helped me put things into perspective, and I realized how far I've come. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and I'm really glad that I got to meet so many amazing people. Yeah, I'd like to pass it on to Keith.
All right. Thank you, Shiwangi. Wow. I didn't think I was going to be this nervous. This is an online event. What am I doing? But yeah, hi, everyone. I would like to, first of all, thank you guys for taking your time to come to this event, even though it is online. But yeah, thank you. Gift of Stories was not only exciting and nerve-wracking, but it was also an eye-opening opportunity for me as well. It allowed me to discover myself and break from my bubble of fear and anxiety, and most importantly, share those feelings with wonderful individuals around me that only helped make the connection stronger and made us closer, even though we haven't met in real life. Yet we shared something on a deep level, and I think it is beautiful and definitely something I would take forward and remember. I would like to say thank you all again for coming, and thank you to the team from Stories Connection and RMIT Training for making this whole thing happen. It has been such a great time, and I hope you enjoyed the film as much as I do. And yeah, they told me to keep this short and sweet, so I'll pass it along to Aurea now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for attending. It's Aurea. The film is so impressive. Far excited what I imaged about that before, and I was so glad to be a participant in this activity. To share the feeling and the thought about the difficulties which try to destroy connection and beat us down during the special period. The gift of stories made me more confident and resilient to interact with others who came from different cultural environments. And I really got fun from that. Sincerely, thanks for all. And I will pass on to RMIT. Yeah, thanks.
Hi, everyone. First off, I absolutely love how the movie has turned out. The short film has turned out. I feel extremely overwhelmed, and I almost cried at the end of the film. It was beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I've always been a person who's afraid of judgments my whole life, and I've always been insecure of what people are going to think and what they're going to say. And over this workshop has really helped me come out of that, and I can confidently say that I'm not that person anymore. I don't fear judgments anymore. And I would like to thank Catherine for that, and the team and Matt for this opportunity that was given to us. Thank you so much. I am really happy and I'm proud to have met all of you, wonderful people. And I'm also very excited to meet you all in Melbourne soon. Fingers crossed. And thank you so much. Over to Neha.
Hello, everybody. I would first like to say that the short film has come out really great. And it was, as Shramita mentioned, it was really emotional. I almost cried as well. Gift of Stories for me has helped me find friendship, connections between strangers. And the thing is, I just joined RMIT, and since everything is online, making friends was one of the most difficult things to do. And joining this workshop actually helped me. It's probably one of the best decisions I've made, because I was able to find myself amongst others. A lot of us have similar stories, but I think the way we dealt with our stories, our situations were all different. And the way we dealt it was also different. So I think opening up to each other, it connected us together. So the best part is we didn't even know each other until during the workshop, and I feel like I know them inside and out almost. I feel like I almost know them inside and out. And firstly, I would really like to thank Catherine and Matt for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this beautiful family, and also I would like to thank the organizers for creating such a beautiful short film. And thank you for helping me understand and express my feelings. Over to Wenki Lee.
Yes, I think this film is actually a gift for me and for everyone, I believe. There are also many similar emotions flowing among us. It's great. I really feel that it's inspired me a lot, and this is a gift for all of us. And for life we in here, and we who are about to live who we live here, and both it's rare a superpower, and let me pass it on to each other. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Thanks all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being live with us, and that we get to hear from you, which is just fantastic. And it was such a pleasure. I have to say it was short but deep. And, you know, through stories, we can travel far very quickly. You know, we can time travel and we can connect. So onward with the gift of stories. So now, lovely audience, it's an opportunity to ask a couple of questions, if you like. Here's our students, any of them can answer. And before we do that, I just want to really acknowledge, like when Leanne talked about the garden, building the garden and meeting her father there, that the secret garden was very pivotal in the film, because it was actually more of an inner space than a literal garden. It was about the imagination. It was about the transformation and the healing space. And because it was about stories, I actually asked one of the students, what's one of your favorite stories? And they said, The Secret Garden, but it was in Chinese. She grew up with that story, and I thought that was fantastic. So I just wanted to share that with you, that inner space of the garden of healing and the development of the self is really important. So over to you, audience. Ask a question. Don't be shy. They've given so much. Just take yourself on mute and go into the ring of asking questions. Or put your question in the Menti.
Yep. So if you just scan this code again, like we did before, you can ask your questions in there. Or you're welcome just to speak up.
Yeah. So it'd be great to hear from you. Somebody asked the question to please ask. Oh, yeah. Please ask us questions. That's in the chat box. Brave and take yourself off mute. Ask a question.
Catherine and Matt and beautiful students, I've got to say thank you so much. This has just been the most gorgeous evening. You know, basking in your your warmth and your humour, and feeling your pain, and just loving your vulnerability, loving your imperfection, loving your humanity. I think my question is, do you think maybe it's the things that are sometimes painted as negative things, like our imperfection, that make us more beautiful and more lovable to everybody else?
Go for it. Somebody who's ready to speak of our students. Off you go.
May I?
Yeah, go.
I think in a sense, yeah. Like I remember reading about this Japanese practice that they used to do when they shattered pottery or something. They would glue it back with golden lacquer because they don't want to hide the flaws. They want to show the character that this piece of pottery has attained from this history. And I think people work in the same way. It's like, you know, the difficulties and the trials that we go through shape who we are, and character can really be tempered in those times of real hardship. But at the same time, like, you know, I look at the worst times that I've had in my life, and like, I'm never going to be that guy who goes around telling people, hey, you haven't experienced this, you're not, you know, you're not real. So yeah, like definitely, like all those times of negativity and hardship can really create something positive, can really make you grow as a person. But at the same time, like, I can't really wish it on anyone.
Hey, sorry, Catherine.
No, go. Anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah. I've actually got a question just for I guess a general question for all of the students here. And I think I'm kind of curious. A couple of months ago, when I put out the initial call to all of the students at RMIT training to be involved in this project, and it might have sounded like some sort of wacky, crazy thing. And I guess I'm just wondering, you know, what is it? Why did you join? What is it that made you initially think, yeah, I want to get involved in this?
Neha or Keith.
Oh,
Keith,
okay.
Neha.
Okay.
Then Neha, whoever.
For me, when I first saw this, I immediately thought of acting, but it turns out it was not acting. And yeah, as I talked about before, I really enjoy film, and I used to have a dream of going to Hollywood and do those filmmaking, acting, and something like that. So I've always wanted to give it a try. But when I see this opportunity, but at the same time, I'm a really shy kid. Like, I would never reach out or put myself out there. But I don't know, for this, I just decided I'm gonna go with it. So, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry if I oversold it at the start, Keith. Hollywood's still there. Don't worry.
Yeah. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah. Actually, when I saw the email, I was like, it would be an amazing chance to meet new people, because I just started at RMIT, and as I mentioned in my earlier, that online making friends is not something that I'm really happy about. So, but when we started the workshop, it was more about opening up and talking to each other and understanding their feelings, and it made me feel more happy because I understand that it wasn't just me going through some problem. There were so many other people experiencing, and being able to talk about it was something that really helped me. And how I think this project has helped me set up for the future. Talk about your problems with someone. It doesn't have to be anyone. It doesn't have to be someone like you're close to. It could be anyone you like or up to you. But talking to people may sometimes help your problems. That's what I got away from this program.
Great, thank you. So there's a few questions in the chat box. How can, this is sort of a bit more of a question from the RMIT perspective, how can we, as in RMIT, how can RMIT give students more support? What sort of things could help students? Anybody got a suggestion? While you're thinking. Maybe I'll ask you another question. If somebody comes up with that light bulb moment, come on. What is the thing you will most remember about 2020?
I go for this one. Definitely the lockdown, I guess. Yeah, I think the thing that I will remember most about 2020 is just this kind of period of time. I think even though it has like, I mean, yeah, I think it was kind of negative in a way, but in another way, it was kind of interesting to experience this time of staying at home. And I don't know, I think it's kind of, I think in the future we'll be kind of story to tell children and say like, hey, you know what, in 2020, I had to stay at home like a whole day and studying online. I don't know, I think it's like, there's something to tell. I think I can tell this in the future. And yeah, I think this is one of the most, like, the thing that I will remember most about this year, like the lockdown and everything.
Yeah, definitely. And in your thoughts, what is your healing space? That's a deep question, but you've already shared a lot of deep things in the film. What's your healing space, or what's a healing activity you do when you feel a bit down? How do you deal with that? How do you heal?
For me, it really used to be capoeira, which is the thing that you saw me doing, like rolling around in the chair and stuff, in the short film. It's I don't know, I love how involved you are with your body. It's a very physical activity, and most of the time, like you kind of do it with someone else, and there's that kind of connection and playfulness between you and your partner or your group. But lately that's it was actually a big part of my life during the lowest points of my life. But yeah, lately I just haven't been able to do it because the COVID numbers here have not been looking very good. And I'm hanging around people who are kind of high risk. And if they catch it from me, I don't know what I would do. But I am in a better mental space now. So I've got more coping mechanisms. And I would highly recommend capoeira to anyone who might be curious about that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun.
And will we see a sequel of the film when you all meet up at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Melbourne? Will we see a sequel to the film? That'd be pretty fantastic.
Let's make it happen.
What's that, Keith?
I said, let's make it happen.
So would audience like to take themselves off and ask a question? Somebody will make a comment, another reflection. We can hang in the empty space a little longer. How has acknowledging your feelings and channeling your emotions in a creative project like this helped your personal growth? I'll say it again. How has acknowledging your feelings and channeling your emotions in a creative project like this helped your personal growth? Some of you have sort of answered that. Why don't you go again? Si Cheng, why don't you speak up, or Ricky?
Yeah, for me, I think Catherine gave a great get to acknowledge our deep feeling about maybe this time and the difficulties and something in our deep memories. Yeah, I think Catherine just did a great job about that.
Thank you, Si Cheng. Somebody else, thank you, thank you. In terms of creativity, how do you think being creative has helped you transform some of your emotions? We had a short time, everybody. It was 4 workshops, wasn't it? But there was a lot of change in those 4 workshops, from the shy beginnings to how you were able to tell the stories, which was great.
I think at the start of the workshop, all of us were pretty awkward with each other, trying to share very minimal about what we wanted to talk. But then as we did more workshops, I think we opened up more, and I think it helped us a lot. Yeah.
I think I would like to add on to Neha. It became a safe space for all of us eventually, and no one judged each other for what they said or shared. So that really helped to bring out our best in ourselves. So yeah.
And here's a really good question for you from teachers. How can teachers help you to be more confident in expressing yourself? It's probably a one-day workshop, that question. But how do you think in a classroom setting, teachers could encourage or support you to be more expressive in your communication? What might help? Wenke, you've got something to say?
Yeah, do more OP like us. OP, oral presentation.
Oral presentation.
That's a good way.
Great, great. Thank you.
I would like to say, like, maybe, well, we used to have this subject at the beginning of foundation year that it was called creative communication. And yeah, and the thing is, I enjoy it a lot because I'm really into performing arts. But it's quite nice because then you see like a lot of shy people. Then at the end, like in this project, they kind of feel more free to express themselves. Sometimes we just repress ourselves and we just want to show just one, like we just want to like look in a like we just want to fit and look like everyone, to just don't be judged. We kind of feel sometimes like scared of being different, but in this, I think like a performing arts class, something like that, something where we can express, I think it would be kind of like useful, because everyone would feel more free to just, I don't know, I mean, for instance, this experience was kind of something like that. I mean, at the beginning I felt kind of shy, but then when everyone was doing these activities with these movements and these type of things, like I kind of also felt free to do that and don't feel like, oh, I will be like the weird person. So I think that this is like a good opportunity. Like these kind of activities are like a good chance to everyone to feel free to express themselves. And yeah, I think something like this, like a performing arts class, something like that, it would be kind of helpful.
Thank you. And here's a question, Ricky. I think you started to almost answer this in your response before, but how has this project helped you to recognize your own strength?
My own strengths.
Yeah. Recognize your own quality, your own strength.
Actually, I'm a kind of really shy person at first, and I happened to take part into this session, and every time when I first come to this session, I really awkward and embarrassed, like doing some warm-up activity, and for the next few sessions, I'm gradually become more outgoing, And each lesson we need to finish the task, like telling stories like that, sharing our own stories. And gradually I'm at each time of telling our own story, I have a fresh view of myself. I review of my background, my past memories, and somehow I just get a like a refresh.
Yeah, that's really interesting. A fresh view of yourself. It's really important, isn't it? A fresh view. That's fantastic. I'm just thinking who else we haven't heard anything on, because we're going to wrap up this Q&A now. Shiwangi, is there something you'd like to add? I think we've pretty much heard from everybody.
If I could just jump in and express my heartiest congratulations and just say what a moving and warm and generous film it was. And it's so nice to see that so many of you have come out of your shell and you feel it was such a special thing to participate in. So I've been behind the scenes doing the YouTube, so I'm sorry I haven't been able to participate in the Zoom, but I just wanted to say congratulations, and you should all feel really proud. And thank you so much to Catherine and her team for putting it all together.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much, Tilly, for saying that. Thank you. So just to, Shiwangi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
So is there something you'd like to add just about how in any of those questions that you've heard? And then how have you recognized your strength through this process? Or has it helped you to recognize your strength?
Yeah, it actually did help me realize a lot of things. Like, I'm not sure I can exactly name them, like, but then when I had my personal interview with you, I was able to like tell my story without actually feeling bad about it. And when we actually finished our interview, I realized that I didn't cry when I told everything to you. So I think, yeah, I've become stronger and I have accepted everything. So that was one point that I realized.
Great. And the other thing is you played piano live tonight.
Yeah. that was nerve-wracking. I had to remind myself to breathe. I was like, breathe, come on, breathe. I was shivering, but then, yeah.
Yeah, those are the moments, aren't they? So thank you, audience, for asking those questions, and of course to each of you for sharing your wisdom, the gift of your story, and sharing that with us. So Matt, I pass it back to you.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts with us. It was it was really wonderful just to hear you talking about your experiences, and I'm so glad that each and every one of you joined this project. It was just so wonderful to see. So we are kind of coming towards the end of the night, and tonight has been about connection, and of course it's been about stories, and stories are the fabric of our lives. Joyful, challenging, funny, heroic, embarrassing, tragic. Stories need to be told, and they also need to be heard in order for us to heal and to grow. If anything, anyone who's out there watching tonight, if anything tonight has raised any concerns or any issues for you, please remember that RMIT Training's Wellbeing Service is here to help with free and confidential counselling services for you. So the email address is there on your screen. So please feel free to get in touch with the wellbeing team. Before we finish, I would like to pay a special thanks again to the leadership team at RMIT Training for believing in this project. When I had to pitch it to them a couple of months ago, I wasn't sure whether it was going to fly or not. So thank you to Catherine and everyone in the leadership team at RMIT Training, and for the support that they always give us, Tilly and I, in student experience. Thanks again to Leanne Wilson for joining us tonight. It's always such a pleasure being in your company. Thank you to Catherine. I'm sorry, it is confusing with the double Catherines, but thanks to Catherine Simmons and Fifi for your amazing work. I've been hanging around these guys for a couple of years now, and yeah, it's always just such a treat working with them, or not even with them, just working around them. They do an amazing job. And again, thanks to Irene for the film tonight. Like it was just, I don't know, it blew me away. And also thanks to the support team from Stories Connection. There they are on your screen, that are busy behind the scenes doing all their really cool stuff. And thank you to all the REW and Foundation Studies students who are here tonight watching this. I hope this gives you some inspiration and gives you the strength also to tell your stories. Remember that, you know, all of our stories are equally important. And I think that tonight has shown us all the power of reaching out and connecting with those around you. Don't forget to stay in touch with Stories Connection and RMIT Training on social media. You can find us right here on your screen. And also, finally, thank you to the students, Adam, Wink, Marie, Keith, Ricky, Aurea, Shrimeta, Niha, Casey, and an extra big thank you to Shiwangi for her piano playing at the beginning of tonight's little session. And we are really lucky because Shiwangi is now going to play one last time for us as we say good night to you. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And Shiwangi, it's over to you. Thank you.
Let's take a big clap. Hooray! Thank you, everyone. Yay! Thank you. It's launched, the gift of stories.
Hi, can somebody confirm if I'm audible?
You're on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think Fifi might like to take a big screenshot with us all. Shall we get something to unwrap again?
Do it.
Yeah. So can I have everybody? And also, just to let you know, I know many people are asking, where am I going to see this film? Hopefully I didn't scare you. I know of you are so much wanting to know where can I share to people. Of course, we want you to spread out the word and to share this film with as many people as possible. So this will be up online on RMIT Training YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure Matt got all of your contact details. So he will be sending out the emails to let you know where you can watch it later. And also stay in touch with SICK. So our dear love SICK committee members have been working very hard to message you privately for the feedback form. So to help more international students to share more stories, please, it's very important to fill out the feedback form, just 3 minutes. And now, everybody unpacked their stories. Now I would like to invite all of you to unpack something. You can spend 10 seconds to grab something near you. Don't think too much. They didn't think too much. They just need to be on spot. And you can slowly, show something to unpack. For me, unpack my stories with my lovely active translation members. Later on, we can create a little bit gift. So when everyone, if you're ready, you can put a thumb up. So we can create a little bit of 5 or 10 seconds. I will say 1, 2, 3, and all of you can do something, unpack or move it. So, okay, all right, I can say many people are ready. So I'll say, last chance to unpack. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Wow, you can unmute yourself and make some sound.
I want to say thanks to Michael. We didn't say that Michael, who got all the students over the workshops together. I just really want to acknowledge you, Michael, the connection that you created and following up and creating those interviews. Thank you so much. You were a great spirit in helping to make it happen.
Thank you. My internet was not that stable, so I missed something worse, but I know what are you going to say.
Yeah, and you can see the SICK committee team. Actually, that photo, we didn't meet together. Actually, we photoshopped everybody in that.
The wonders of technology.
Yeah, and really thank you, Matt, and the Almighty Training, the leadership team can bring us here to share the beautiful stories.
Thank you, Fifi. It's always a pleasure working with you and Stories Connection. And this is the beginning. It's not the end. So,
we used to run the workshop in their cafe. That's
absolutely. We just need to get back into the building, and then it's full steam ahead.
Yeah, and more, and the students again acknowledging the gift of your stories tonight is that it's gone beyond the personal. Now it's a gift to other students. You're really offering the gift of encouragement, and that it's a permission. You've offered a permission to others. So I want to thank you deeply for that sharing.
Very much so. So thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And thank you soon. We will see you all again very soon. Thanks so much for coming, everybody. Good night.
We can come back on and connect after this. Yes, Matt? Bye, everyone. And students, come back on. Yeah?
Bye. Hope all of you.
Everybody.
Take something with you tonight.
We're somewhere.